Hello, and welcome to Style by Design. I'm Maria Miller. We're at Bourgeois Bohème on Beverly Boulevard in Los Angeles, California. I'm meeting with Donna Livingston of Donna Livingston Design to learn more about Donna and her exquisite design ideas. Come inside, let's meet Donna. Hi, Donna.
Hi, Maria.
Thank you for meeting me.
Thank you.
Bourgeois Bohème, isn't it a fabulous idea?
It is.
Let's go sit down and learn more about you. Donna, you were named on 4 separate occasions to Architectural Digest Top 100 Designers.
Yes.
How does one go about getting on that list?
I think it's years of work and a little bit of luck, having just the right project to present. And then it goes before a committee that we know nothing about,
Right.
and they then choose. And it's quite an honor.
So how did you get into interior design? Did you study it in school? Was it a passion of yours as a child?
When I was in my late 20s, I was going through a transition in my life at that time. And I thought, well, you know, I have good taste, I like it, I had a passion for it. And I walked in to an office and rented it, and I'm still in that office.
The same office today?
Same office.
Was there one distinct moment that you thought, when you talk about passion, what was the one moment that you said, this is my passion?
I think it started out maybe with decorating my own home. It could have started out really honestly, Maria, from when I was a child. I used to love to play with my dollhouse, rearrange my furniture. I would make cities out of milk cartons and paint them. And, you know, really I always had an interest in it. And I love that reflective, quiet, imaginative time.
You didn't particularly study design in college at an interior design school or design program?
I took a few classes at UCLA School of Design, but my background, my real background, is in social work. So part of design is knowing somebody's taste, getting to know them, crawling into their lives, and understanding them. And I think when you do that, you really get a feeling for how their home should be.
So when you started your own company, this was 20 years ago?
Yes.
What challenges did you face being a new business owner and being a woman starting her own design firm?
It was complicated, and I really wasn't sure what my strengths were. I knew I loved design. I also thought I was good in public relations, I was good at social work, I was good at writing. And finally, even after I had started my business, I went to a professional counseling person. And she said, you started your own business? Take credit and focus on one thing. Incorporate your public relations, your writing skills, your ability for math, and put it all together into one business and focus on what you want to be.
Do you remember the first home that you designed for a client?
Yes, I do.
Was that scary, and how did it turn out?
Well, it was an interesting situation because my very first client was a person who had bought my previous home. And she loved what I had done so much in the home that she hired me to do it for her. So it was very interesting because every day I would drive up to go to work at this house and go to the mailbox and realize it really wasn't my home.
That must have been interesting, going back to your space, but then creating
different space for her that were her needs and her likes, and incorporating that, yes. And that's really the talent in many ways of a designer.
Do you have any words of advice for somebody across America that's wanting to start their own interior design firm? Now, you sort of did it on your own with some classes from UCLA, but would you recommend going to a design program or just baptism by fire and jumping into it?
If I look back, I think having background in design, in the techniques of design, especially now because there's so much that's all computerized that's so important to know and to have that background. And I think it also is very helpful to start out working with another designer as an intern, so you learn the ropes a little bit more. And I think you got to have those technical skills today.
Did you have a mentor that helped you in the beginning?
No, I just studied people that I liked and pulled out and made files and really studied their work and followed it very conscientiously.
Is there a style that is particularly you're fond of or that you're known for?
I would say a mixture of styles. I would say bringing in, whether it be scale pieces, collections. I would say Oriental has always been one of my favorite feelings of putting a piece here and a piece there. I would say neoclassical items along with contemporary is a beautiful blend.
Would you recommend when a family's bought their first home or a single person has their first apartment, what are some key pieces that somebody should invest their money in and some items that they can scale back on in cost to bring together a nice home?
I personally think a sofa is really important, because if you buy a good sofa and it's constructed well, you'll have that forever. And it won't wear down and you can recover it years later. I also think a great breakfast table or dining room table is a very important part of making your home your home.
Brings family together.
Brings families together.
Now, when you start working with a client, what inspires you about them, and when they come into a home that you've decorated for the first time, what do you want them to feel when they see it when you're done?
I want them to feel like it's their home. I want them to walk through the door and feel, this is Christmas. Right. This is magic. And it's a process. It's a process that takes maybe sometimes years. So it's not an overnight thing when you're really developing your home. You pick a piece here, you pick a piece there. I typically will put it in storage. And as time goes by, then we bring all of it out together. Excellent. At one time, and they walk through the door, and that is the most rewarding, fulfilling, exciting moment for both them and me.
I love that you said when they come in, you want them to feel that they're at home, as opposed to a home that you created and they're walking into somebody else's house that they are paying the mortgage on.
Right.
Because you can see homes that other people have designed and you don't get the essence of the family that lives there.
I think it's very important to have your reflection of your home. I also think it's important for me as a designer to feel that I've guided them towards making some correct decisions, that they didn't waste their money, that they had a sense of, I think when you really find a good home, it has good scale, it has the good lighting, you feel like it doesn't feel contrived. It feels like warm, interesting, and a reflective of your personality.
Are there particular colors that in 2012 are a trend color right now? And how do you feel about trends? Should we stay away from them, or should we get a neutral palette and build the rest of our home around that?
I like the idea of a neutral palette where I work in taupes or beiges or grays, sometimes a light blue slate. And then I add accents of color that will make it interesting and have a pop. And there's wonderful colors out now, which are in the pinks and in the bright neon greens. And you can put a pillow here or a vase there or a grouping, and it will look modern, but it won't be trendy.
When do you come on, or when do you say yes to a project? Do you sit down with a family or a business and hear their pitch, or how do you come on to an actual project to work on a home?
I think that our best projects that come into our office are from the very beginning. So I think the beginning part of a great successful project is when you come together with a client, an architect, the contractor, and you all work together as a team.
Do you have a team that you work with all the time, or do you bring on construction guys, contractors that have already been on the project?
I like bringing on my own team, whether it be my contractor, my marble person, my wood carving person, doors, hardware, because then you have a familiarity that makes it move more smoothly. But many times there are clients who like to work with their own contractors, their own sources, and we try to make that a team development as well.
What do you think is the most common mistake people make when decorating their homes?
I think having a plan that how you're going to lay out your room for comfort, for being able to have a conversation. So often I see one of the things that's a pet peeve for me is the coffee table's too far away from the sofa. And so I always like to make sure that those little pet peeves and mistakes don't happen in Donna Livingston when we design a room, is to have that comfort for livability.
What separates Donna Livingston Design from other design firms?
I love to say comfort. I love to say sophisticated livability, because really you want to have a feeling of warmth in your home, and yet it's got to be livable.
As a businesswoman, what are you most proud of with your firm?
I'm most proud with my firm is that we treat it as a business. We have our clients sign off on every purchase order. It becomes very much of a business. It's great to be a designer. It's great to pick out colors. It's great to see beautiful things. But at the bottom of the day, it's all about spreadsheets, numbers, purchase orders, and no mistakes.
Well, now that we've heard all about Donna Livingston Design, I want to know more about you. A few years back, you went through a pretty nasty divorce.
That's right.
What inspiration can you give to somebody on how to get through something like that? How did you do it?
I think it's always very hard, it's very emotional, but I would say every day, get up and pull yourself up and come up with a plan. You know, everybody's going through transitions, and sometimes people are downsizing, whether it be you've lost your job, or you're moving your parents into a smaller space. How do you edit your life, and how do you take the pieces that were part of your life and recreate them in your new space? And I think that was a very difficult time for me. It took me a moment to get myself back on track, but I was determined to rise above it and make a new home for myself, a new life for myself. And I think I look back on it and I think that was a very difficult time, but I'm so proud to come through with flying colors.
And standing on your own 2 feet.
Standing on my own 2 feet.
Now, I know you love to travel.
Yes.
Where are some of the favorite places you've gone to?
Oh my goodness. Well, you can always say Paris. How can you not? You know, you can find the most beautiful things anywhere you go. I mean, one of the places I'd love to go, which I've never been, is to India. I love the exoticness of the textures and the richness of the fabrics, and so I think that would be one of the top goals on my list. I also think Morocco would be very interesting to go to, or Africa, and making all of those combinations part of your home and bring something back from every little place you go.
Well, what we're going to do next, since Bourgeois Bohème has been so generous to allow us to come into their space, and they have amazing stuff.
They do.
I want to go through the store and have your expert eye on how we can take similar pieces or several pieces here and incorporate them into somebody's home. So Donna, tell me about this table.
Well, this is one of my favorite pieces in this particular shop. The tiles came out of a floor in Burgundy, France, and then they were made into a table. And so they're just squares, and the owner of the shop made this steel base with a patina on it, and I think it's just the coolest, neatest idea, and it's a conversation piece that you're not going to see in every house, every showroom. It's unique, it's one of a kind, and I love the idea.
I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like you said, you're not going to see this in your neighbor's home when you go over for the Super Bowl or a Christmas party. It's definitely a conversation piece, and it's a way to think outside the box.
It is a way of thinking out of the box that you can come up with a clever idea and make a table, a floor that was once a floor many years ago, hundreds of years ago, and make a unique table and statement in your home today.
And right now, a trend is to reclaim items, whether
That's
it's
right.
reclaimed wood, reclaimed tile.
That's
So
right.
this is definitely very on trend right now. Well, Donna, I can't thank you enough for
Thank you
opening
for-
your life up, your design ideas to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'd also like to thank Bourgeois Bohème, Dale and Frederick. They're located on Beverly Boulevard in Los Angeles, California. They're an exquisite furniture and lighting store, and I would love for you all to stop by and see them. Thank you for tuning in to Style by Design. Until next time, have a stylish week.